Professional football is extremely popular and loved by fans all over the world. However, the NFL has recently began to become the no-fun league. Rule changes and officiating of the NFL football are making it worse for fans and players. In the NFL today, defenses are set up with major disadvantages based on modern-day officiating. Also, celebrations are promoted and penalized in the NFL. It is confusing but true with the often call of the taunting penalty. In this speech, I'm going to discuss how the NFL is going in the wrong direction with rule changes because they are giving disadvantages to the defense, penalizing players for showing emotion, and making the game soft. First off, to start out, defenses are at a major disadvantage when it comes to the calls and when it comes to the rules. Quarterbacks are overprotected. For example, you're not allowed to hit the quarterbacks in the head or the feet, which makes it extremely hard when you're moving as fast as you can to not touch the two major parts of someone. Where are you supposed to hit them is a good question. Which is, they say you're supposed to hit them in the head or the neck and chest, or I guess the chest and shoulders, which is really hard when someone's leaning over. But to me, it seems like this is almost impossible. Also, another big impact, major disadvantages the defense has is pass interference can be a game changer in most situations. Pass interference is what's known as a spot of the flag penalty. That means that wherever they throw the flag is the amount of yards the penalty is. So if a wide receiver goes out for a pass and it's a 50-yard pass and the ball was uncatchable, but the play is called pass interference, then it's a gain of 50 or 60 yards from a penalty, which is a really big disadvantage for the defense because pass interference gets overcalled a lot. There's a lot of times where pass interference is called, but it really wasn't pass interference at all, and the defense just gets screwed. The next reason why the NFL is going in the bad direction with rule changes is that players are penalized for showing emotion sometimes. The one major problem with the NFL rule calling is taunting. Taunting is basically, they say, whenever you make a good play and then it's celebrating but putting down the opponent, which is really weird because scoring a touchdown you would think puts down your opponent more than the celebration. Also, touchdown celebrations are often promoted and celebrated in the NFL with commercials and advertising and stuff like that. However, on occasion, sometimes someone will get a 15-yard penalty for their celebration that they did. One example of a player receiving a penalty for celebrating is Colts running back Benny LeMay. Benny LeMay had a monster run during the Benny LeMay was a late-round draft pick or an undrafted free agent onto the team. He was playing in the preseason, trying to earn a spot on the roster. Benny LeMay broke off a decent run and ran and dragged 6 or 8 people 5 or 6 yards and looked like a beast. Whenever this play finished, he stood up and was excited and did something like this. The refs did not like that, and they threw a 15-yard penalty. This could have major implications on Benny LeMay because he might not make the team because he hurt the team by causing a penalty. Also, the NFL doubled down on this and gave Benny LeMay a fine for $3,667. Obviously, this was a terrible call. He was just excited from the great run he made, and the NFL still doubled down and fined him money for this. This is how the NFL is becoming soft. Players like Lawrence Taylor could not play in the NFL today. Lawrence Taylor would attempt to take quarterbacks' heads off their body, which would really not be allowed today. Every play, if Lawrence Taylor was in a game today, every play would be a penalty and he would be a liability for his team. Another late great player is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders would get called for a pass interference almost every play just because of his physical pass coverage. In these two ways, football has changed for the worse because of the rule changes. In conclusion, rule changes are ruining the NFL because defenses are disadvantaged, Players are penalized for showing emotion, and the NFL is becoming soft. I want the NFL to fix these rule changes for fans and players in the future. Most fans want the same grimy, physical, emotion-filled game we grew up playing and watching. Please, NFL, do not take it from us. And then for my works cited, I have Kevin Hickey is the author, and he wrote Colts Benny LeMay fined for taunting, and that article came out on August 21st, 2021. And then my next source is, the author for this source is Bill Pennington, and he wrote the NFL's new tackling rule, the good, the bad, and the confusing. And then my third source, and that article came out on September 10th, 2018. And then my last source is Nate Scott. He's the author, and he wrote What is the Pass Interference Rule in the NFL? And that article came out on February 7th, 2021. Thank you for your time.